recording and we're pausing and saying good morning. Crawl onto my mat. All right, any special requests here today in the space?
My hips are hurting.
Your hips are hurting.
Yeah, I think from that one class where we did more twisting than usual.
So they're a
So
little.
I need to limit my twisting.
Okay, that's good to know. We can do that. All right, well, let's begin seated. You can sit cross-legged or you can sit up on your knees if you like. We'll just kind of get situated. If you want to sit up on a block too, if you have them, it can be helpful to get the knees a little lower than the hips. It's going to be perfect. And then it's okay. You're great. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, allow your eyes to gently close. Just taking a moment right here to just watch your breath. Just going to be the witness as your breath comes in and out of your body. Notice if you're constricting anywhere in your abdomen or in your chest or throat. Relax the belly. Soften your shoulders. Relax your jaw. You've made it to the mat. And we'll do a quick counting meditation here. So it's very simple. You'll count your breaths. So you'll breathe in, that'll be 1. Breathe out will be 2. And you'll count to 10 and then begin again. There's no hurry. Notice if you feel hurried or you're rushing through, just go slow or start over. It's okay to start over. Soften your forehead. Just noticing your breath moving in and moving out of your body. Not going past 10 or forgetting, just begin again. Giving yourself that permission. It's not about achieving or it's not a competition. It's just getting as present as you can. Each breath, each number, just be present for. Even if you're not at 10 or haven't completed this set, just let that go. And allow your chin to drop down towards your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin. And then get a little rock side to side, like you're scraping your chin across the front of your chest. Come to center and pause. With your eyes closed, lift your head, just stack it right on top of your spine, and then allow the left ear to drop over towards the left shoulder. And then turn your nose down towards the left shoulder. So looking diagonally down and then turning the head diagonally up towards the ceiling, like you're drawing half of an X. And we'll do 3 or 4 of those. Keep sitting up really tall. If you find a spot that you want to hang out and stay, your neck needs a little extra pause or love right there, do that. And you'll just gently lift the head. When you're ready, stack it on top of your spine, pause, soften the shoulders, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling. And then we'll go to the other side, right ear helps over towards the right shoulder. And then looking diagonally down to the right, diagonally up left. If you need your eyes open, if that feels better for feeling oriented in space, you can softly open the gaze. So try to keep your attention drawn inside here, just feeling the sensations in the neck, noticing I have so many tight spots on this side, just noticing. Good, and then lifting the head, stacking it right back onto your spine. And then softly open the eyes. And let's uncross the legs. So if you're on a block, you can stay or you can come off the block. Take your legs out and just give a little popcorn. Tap, 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 tap. Good. And then bring the feet flat to the floor here. And you can hold on in front of the shins or behind the legs. You'll lift the chest up and then tuck the chin and round gently back. Like cow and cat here. And you'll rock forward to the sit bones. Pull the shoulders back up. And then tuck the chin, gently round back. One more time, rock forward, lift up, and gently round back. And then coming back to seated, stay here, sit up nice and tall, and you'll keep the right knee in. So pull the foot a little closer, straighten the left leg. We're just gonna sit really tall right here. Good. And then, yeah, if you can, you're gonna firm the muscle to bone in that left leg and maybe lift. Good, and then lower it down, sit up really tall. We'll try that again, firm through the thigh and lift. Good, and then set it down one more time, sit up really tall, firm through that left leg, lift, and set it down. We'll switch legs, straighten the right, draw the left knee in. Yeah, you can popcorn it out if you need a little squeeze, sit up really tall, firm, muscle to bone, and then lift. That's from those deep hip flexor quad muscles. Take a breath, firm, and lift. Good job. Lower it down one more time. Breathe in, sit up nice and tall. Lift that leg up and set it down. Stretch both legs out. Popcorn. We'll bring the feet together, Baddha Konasana feet, and then you can either squeeze the heels close into the groin and press the elbows into the inner thighs as you lean, or it can be a little farther away from the body in a gentle rounding forward. Let's take a few breaths right there. It's really breathing those nice slow breaths that we began with. You can even continue that counting if that felt good for your mind. Nice job. And you'll come on up. And then we'll turn sideways. Actually, we'll face the mirror. So turn to face the mirror. And I'm gonna face you guys. Actually, that's weird. That's okay. We'll face the mirror. You guys can see me in the reflection, yes?
Yes.
Okay, I think they can too. Okay, so you're gonna take your feet wide. I just want you to have the mat. So bring your hands behind you, feet wide, and then you'll rotate the knees to the right. Good. Now stay there, but bring the left hand around to the outside of the right thigh. Good. Yep. And then if you want, you can even come to your forearms here for a moment or two and soften down. It's called deer pose. It doesn't need to be a major twist, but it's just we're warming the body up into this easy shape. Good, and then you'll press back up to your hands. And you'll bring your feet back flat to the floor, so pivot back to the center, hands behind you, sit up nice and tall. And then take the knees to the left, pause, so feel that internal rotation. Then bring the right hand around to the outside of the left knee. You can stay, or you can drop down onto your forearms. So if you're having some sciatic hip, low back or something, and you want to stay up higher, that's fine. If it feels better to come down, that's fine. We're good. Good. It's just about being in this shape, letting your body be in this shape and breathe. And then come back up to your hands, back around to the front, hands behind you, bring your feet flat. Good, and then we'll just come onto the hands and knees. So where you are, you'll just come forward to tabletop, hands and knees. If you need extra pads for your knees, let me know. We have them in the back. You guys want anything? Are you good? Okay, good. All right, so tuck your toes under here and just let your body rock back and forward. So coming into the hands, spreading the fingers, and then rock back. So to the toes, let's stretch to the toes. And then rock it forward into the hands. Rock it back. And forth. Good, and then rock it back. And then come forward to tabletop and point the toes. So press the tops of the feet down, drop the belly, lift the chest, cow. And then stretch your eyes to the ceiling. Tuck the chin, tuck the tail, round the spine, pull the pit of the belly in and up. And do that again, drop the belly, inhale, cow. And exhale into cat. So just two, and then come to neutral spine, pause. Take your right hand behind the left wrist. Come down onto the side of the head and the shoulder. Yep, it's called thread the needle. And then press into your left hand and you'll open back through tabletop. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling or maybe out to the right, wherever it'll go. And then set the right hand down back to tabletop. Good, two cow and cats. Drop the belly, lift the chest, eyes up. Exhale, tuck the tail, really pull the belly in and up towards the spine. One more, inhale. And exhale, push the floor away. Come to neutral, slide the left hand behind the right wrist, lower the chest and head, so shoulder and head to the ground. It's called thread the needle here. And then press into the right hand, come up, take the left arm wherever it'll go, kind of reach up to the ceiling. And then set the left hand back next to the right. We'll do that again. Two cow and cats. Drop the belly, tail up, chest up, eyes up. Tuck the tailbone. Look towards the navel center. Round the back. One more time. Drop the belly, moving with your breath. And exhale. Arching, lifting between the shoulder blades. Neutral spine. Right hand goes behind the left wrist. Thread the needle, lower the head and shoulder. And then press into the left hand and twist open, or arm can go out to the side, or reaching up and then set it down. Two cow and cats. Drop the belly, inhale. Exhale. Inhale using the full length of your breath. And exhale. Come to neutral, slide the left hand behind the right wrist. Lowering down carefully, breathing into the space behind the left shoulder blade. And then press into the right hand and open up. And then set the left hand down next to the right. And then we'll sit back into child's pose. So big toes touched, knees apart. You can make a pillow out of the arms if that feels best, or forehead to the floor. And then from here, you'll come back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, but walk your hands to the knees. So walk back and press up to your feet into a forward fold at the back of your mat. You can take ragdoll, holding onto your elbows. If you need more support for your back, you can rest your forearms on your thighs. That's an option. Coming up a little higher if you need that support, good, Linda. If you can, allow the head to really drop. Just take a couple breaths, just a few more breaths right here. And then release your hands softly to the ground. You'll bring the hands up to your hips, point your elbows to the ceiling, and then rise up to stand. And then I like to lift my arms up right away because it brings the blood all the way up to the head, and then bring your hands to your heart and arms down by your side. So I'm doing a little hamstring warm up kind of thing here. So it just looks like this. You'll step 1 foot forward, press your hips back, and scoop towards your foot. So you'll scoop down and then come up, and then we'll switch. So right foot back, left foot forward, hinge, so the bottom goes back, and scoop towards your foot, and then come up. Good, and we'll do that again. Right foot forward, press back, hinging, and scoop down, and come up. Yep, and then switch, left foot forward, so you're pulling the toes back, hips back, and then scoop towards the foot. Nice, we'll do that one more each side. Everyone feeling these? Okay, right foot forward, hips hinge back, scoop towards the foot. Good, Janice, and come up. Try the other side, left foot forward, hinge back, scoop, come up. Good, nice job. And then take a breath in here. We'll reach both arms up. And as you breathe out, hinge forward. So you want that same hinging action, bowing all the way down. Now from here, walk your hands forward. So bend the knees, walk like you're crawling forward. And then straightening the legs into downward facing dog. Good, that was a bear crawl, good job. And then you can pedal it out, bending one knee at a time, feeling into your legs. Press a little deeper into your hands so the knuckles root down. And squeeze both heels towards the ground. Press your tailbone towards the ceiling. Good, Suzanne, see if you can scoop the tailbone up a little bit more. Yes, right there. There's the hamstrings. And then I like to bend the knees slightly, give a little softness. We get into the soleus, the deeper calf muscles. Squeeze the heels down, soften the knees, take a huge breath in. Breathe out, and then walk your feet to your hands or towards the middle of the mat is even fine. Bring your hands to your shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to your hips, come all the way up to stand. Extended mountain reach, and then bring your hands to your heart and arms by your sides. Good, and then we'll turn sideways here. Let's turn, yeah, you guys can face that way. And then step your feet apart. So we're coming into some warrior poses. So feet, you want about one leg length of yours between the feet. So kind of see if you can go a little wider maybe, if you got long legs.
Where are we going with this?
not to the full splits, but about one leg length. Okay. And then bring your hands to your hips and you'll turn your right toes to the right. So to the back of your mat or whichever way you faced. Good, Janice, good, Carol. And then bend your right knee. And so you'll pause right there. And then you want to look, you want to make sure your toes are facing forward, ankle is directly under the knee is in line with the hip, so the knee's not moving to the left. And then with your pelvis, you want to take your tailbone towards the right knee, so the pelvis gets more neutral. And then bring your hands to your heart here. Pull the shoulders back and then extend the arms out from that center line. And breathe in our warrior two pose. Good job. One more full breath here. And then go ahead and straighten the right leg, relax the arms, turn the right toes in, pivot the left toes out. It's a good ankle straightener right there. And then hands to the hips. Watch the left knee as you bend it. You want to keep moving it to the left. And then take the tailbone towards the left knee. So the pelvis goes from crooked to flush. Hands to heart, pull the shoulder head straight back, and then open it out. Good. And I tend to bring, like, whatever legs bend is kind of where my weight goes. And so that's okay, but I also want you to really keep the right foot rooted so you feel more balanced. And breathing. Good, and then straighten the left leg, relax the arms, turn the feet to parallel. We'll do the right side again, turn the right toes out, bend the right knee, open the arms, come right into your warrior two. So we're trying to develop this kind of unconscious competence where the body goes right where it needs to go without having to really think or analyze. Good, straighten the right leg, arms down, right toes turn in, left toes turn out, bend the knee, open the arms, find your pose. You feel powerful, connected, strong, and at ease. There's a softness. Good. Straighten the left leg, relax the arms one more time. Left toes in, right toes out. Bend the right knee, drop in, warrior two. Breathing. Maybe you go a little deeper, muscles are a little warmer. Straighten the right leg, relax the arms, turn the right toes in, left toes out. Bend the left knee, put the arms up. Maybe it's a little deeper this time. You can even inch the feet apart. Challenging that base. Good, and then straighten the left leg, relax the arms, feet to parallel, lift up into your chest, hinge forward here. So bring your hands down to the floor. You can walk them back between the feet, relax the head. Good, and then from here, you'll come back to a flat back, bring your hands to your hips, come up to stand. You'll turn the left toes back to the front of the room towards me, and then step your feet to the front. Mountain pose. Yeah, notice how you're feeling right here. You're feeling something. Okay, I'm gonna come into some balance. So start to shift your weight, right to left, or left to right. Notice that the more you sink into one foot, the lighter the other foot gets. And one thing that I like to, when I'm balancing, there was a time in my life where I was taught to lock my joints, but that never quite felt right to me. So I prefer a soft bend through one knee as I come into the, so I'm not locked out, so I'm not stiff. There's like a absorption. The muscles are there to absorb the fluctuations. Just kind of notice one side to the other. Good, and now I want you to go front to back. So you're gonna rock to the toes, you can even lift the heels, and then rock back to the heels, maybe lift the toes. Yeah, or the balls of the feet. We'll play with that. If you need to hold the bar for that, you can. I notice I have a really hard time with the heels down. Good. Okay, and then find that center place where you're standing evenly on both feet. And you'll shift over to your left foot. Before you lift the right, you want to be even, front to back, side to side, all of that. And then bring the right foot up to the left leg for tree. You can bring your hands to your heart. Just breathe right here. If you'd like to straighten the arms and lift them up towards the ceiling, you can. Good, and then let the arms come down, set the right foot down, just get grounded through both feet again. Then you'll shift over to your right foot. Notice you're not too far forward or too far back, it's just nice and even. And then bring that left leg up. You can bring your hands to the heart and in that center line. They can stay, hands can stay there, or you can reach up. Nice and deep. Good, good balance. Breathing. And got it, Suzanne. Good, and then bring the arms down, set the left foot down next to the right. Good, take a breath in, reach both arms up. And breathe out, forward fold, and soften the knees. Stay right here. Let the head just kind of drop. And shake it yes, shake it no. Bring your hands to your shins, lift up to a flat back, lift, lengthen that spine nice and long. Good, and then plant the hands. So you can come to fingertips or hands on the flat on the ground. And then step your right foot to the back of your mat. So come into a runner's lunge. Yeah. Let the hips kind of drop down a little bit. Good, to see if you can hold this. You might even rock front to back a few times. Good, and then set the back knee carefully to the ground, right knee to the ground, point the right toes, and then bring your hands up to your left thigh. You can move front to back if you need. You can double the mat if you need. Now notice if you're bracing with your arms. I want you to really soften the shoulders. So the bracing is from the core. Arms are soft and relaxed. But if you want, you can take the arms up towards the ceiling. But you don't have to. They can stay where they are, or you can reach them up. Good, Janice. Good, Carol. Good, and then bring your hands down. You'll frame the front foot and pull your hips back and toes up. You might even slide the leg a little farther forward. This is hamstring stretch on the left leg. And sometimes I move my foot right to left. Remembering when we scooped towards that foot and you pressed your hips back, I want you to get that same sensation here. Almost like you're trying to arch the lower back. So the more you press the hips back, scooping the tailbone up, the more you'll get a stretch to that hamstring. Feel that? Good. We're going slow today for a reason. It's harder. It can be more challenging. Okay, point the toes, you'll rock forward, and then actually bring that left leg back. So I bring my hands to the inside, left leg back next to the right, and then come forward into your hands and lower yourself slowly onto your belly. And then you'll point your toes, come up onto your forearms, we'll come up into Sphinx pose. you can walk the elbows under the shoulders. So you prop yourself up and pull with your forearms, try to pull the mat back. You can close your eyes right here if you like. Good. Press your tailbone and pubic bone down. Pull the low belly slightly up off the ground. Yes. Pull the shoulders back and chest forward. I know it's all these contradictory movements, and that's yoga. Yoga means union, and often it's uniting these opposing forces. So pressing down and lifting up. Good. Lower down. Bring your hands under your shoulders, and you can press back to either child's pose or downward facing dog. So then take one more breath where you are. And then you'll walk your feet towards the front of your mat, maybe the middle of the mat, or step forward. Lift halfway up, hands go to the shins, lengthen the spine. Forward fold, bow, let your head drop. Bring your hands to your hips, slight bend in the knees, rise up to stand, extended mountain, big breath in. Hands through heart center, bow forward. Halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, and then step your left foot back. So you'll come into this runner's lunge. So keep the knee lifted for a moment, and you can rock front to back on those back toes, even into the ankle. If the knee passes the toes, that's okay. You get a bigger stretch to the ankle. Just make sure there's no pain in the knee. Okay, I'm gonna move into the little edges. And carefully set the back knee to the ground. Now point the toes, press into the top of the back foot, and then bring your hands up to your right leg. And I often will come back and then press forward. So you're looking to find an opening. And it's like those opposing forces. So as you're moving forward, you're also pulling back. As you're, like here, you want to press into the top of the back foot, the shin, maybe pull into the core, reach your arms up if that feels okay. So the hips go down, arms go up, breathing. Carefully bring your hands back down to the ground for your half splits. Now you'll pull the hips back, pull the right toes up, and you want to try to take the tailbone up, like you're kind of hollowing out that lower back, which is where the biggest hamstring stretch will occur. Susan, yes, you feel that? So the default is that rounding, and then you don't feel the same. The more, yeah. Nice, Carol. Good, Janice. Breathing here. If you want blocks under the hands, they're helpful too. Lifts the floor up to you a bit. Yes, there it is. Good. Yeah, you can move the foot side to side. You can point and flex the foot, find to rotate through the ankle. Good, and then you'll rock it forward. Bring your hands to the inside of that right foot, right foot around behind you. And then you'll come forward. So body weight in the hands, and then bend the elbows. Lower yourself down carefully. Point your toes. We'll come into Sphinx again. Come up onto the elbows. Elbows right under the shoulders. Legs active. So slightly hugging the muscles to the bones of the leg. I press the tailbone and pubic bone down and try to pull the low belly up, which lengthens the lower spine. And then drag the rib cage forwards. Pull the shoulder heads back, chin back, or you can drop it too. You can move it, the head if you want. Breathing. Very good. And then just lower down. You'll turn your elbows, make your elbows out, and then rest your head on your hands here and relax your legs, your belly. And then let's take the arms out in front of you on the floor. You'll look down to the floor and then you'll lift the right leg and the left arm. So lifting opposite arm and leg and just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down and then switch left arm, right leg, come up, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. And then again, right leg, left arm, come on up, hold. If you can this time, you'll take them to the diagonal. Right leg goes right, left arm goes left, just a few inches. Bring it back to center and lower down. Other side, left leg, right arm lift. Take it to the diagonal. Bring it back to center. Lower down. One more time. Right leg, left arm. Either stay in the center or out to the diagonal. Bring it back to center and lower. Last one. Left leg, right arm lift. Move it to the diagonal, maybe. Back to center and lower down. Make a pillow out of the forearms again. This time you'll bend the knees and just carefully let them move right to left. I know it feels really good to rock and lift the pelvis off the ground, but see if you can keep the pelvis on the ground. So the movement is from the hip, not the lower back. That's hip mobility. Good. And then release the feet to the floor. You'll bring your hands under your shoulders, press up to tabletop. And then you're gonna make your way onto your seat. So walk your knees up, maybe sit down, bring your feet around to the front, and then lay down on your back, come all the way down onto your back. And then bring your feet flat to the floor here. We'll come into some low bridges, so not super high bridges, but low bridges. Feet flat, arms by your side. Tuck your tailbone up towards the ceiling and then lift the pelvis, but not the rib cage. Keep the rib cage on the mat. And then just breathe here. So low bridge. You're trying to pull the front ribs in towards the center of your body, center back towards the floor and down towards the pelvis. And stay there and breathe. Keep pulling those front ribs in, back, and down. We'll take 5 breaths. Just that nice low bridge, working the glutes and hamstrings, but really working these deep core muscles and the diaphragm. Good, and then lower the pelvis down, let everything relax right there at the floor. And then we'll do that one more time. Low bridge, so feet flat. Tuck the tailbone, squeeze the glute muscles, and then lift up just high enough, but keep the rib cage on the mat. If you want to cactus your arms, you can try that. Cactus the arms. You're holding the elbows, wrists, and shoulders on the mat, rib cage on the mat, strengthening the lower body, focusing on breathing. Just that nice even breath. Keep the ribs pulled in, front ribs pulled in, back and down. Good, take one more breath here. Very good, and then lower slowly. And take your feet wider apart just a little bit. Let your knees knock together right here and just soften your fingers. Soften your abdomen. Relax the tops of your shoulders. Unclench your back teeth. Good, and then from here, you'll just separate the knees, walk the feet together and the knees apart. You can let your hands rest on your belly. Good, and then straighten the legs out long on the floor. And arms come by your sides. And then you're gonna draw the right knee up towards the chest. So the right knee is gonna go up. Don't hold it though. Let's try without holding it. Bring the right knee in, out to the right, and then back to center like a circle. So just do like 3 circles with that right knee. So you're using a lot of core on that left side. Good. And then on the last one, bring it in to center, stretch it long on the floor. And then try the other side. Draw the left knee in. So this is core strength and some hip mobility, and then circling round in a circle to whatever degree you can. You need to hold it, you can, but just exploring without holding. And then come to center, squeeze in, stretch the left leg out long. We'll do that again on the right. Draw the right knee in and draw some circles, circling around. Really pulling the belly towards the floor. You should feel some deep core muscles here. Engaging. Good, bring it in, stretch it out long. On the left side, draw the left knee in and circling it around for 3, 2, 1. Squeeze it in, stretch it long. Good, draw the right knee in. This time interlace your hands behind the right hamstring and then straighten the right leg up towards the sky. Now, if you can, we're gonna play with this a bit. You're gonna press out through your left heel on the floor and either float it up an inch or bring it up to meet the right and lower it back down. So you can either come all the way up and down or float it a few inches off the floor. Good, if you're lifting it one more time, so we'll do those 3s again. And then lower it down, left leg down, draw the right knee in, give it a squeeze, and then switch. Stretch the right leg out, left knee in, interlace your hands behind the hamstring, straighten the leg. If you can get like a 90-degree angle, breathe right there. And then flex the right foot, so engage through the quadricep muscles, and maybe float the foot an inch or 2, or lift it all the way up and lower it down. So slow and controlled. Up and down. One more time, lift. Lower, hover, and then set it down. And then hug the left knee in, give it a little squeeze, and stretch the left leg out long. Stretch both arms overhead here. Just get really long through your body. Good, and then you'll draw both knees up into your chest. You can do them one at a time. Give yourself a hug. You can even rock a little bit side to side. And then reclined pigeon. You'll set the left foot flat, cross the right ankle above the left thigh. Pick the left foot up, interlace your hands behind the left hamstring. And breathe. Feeling into your right hip, the outer hip love, which you've signed about here. You can add movement, or you can be more in stillness. I love coming from that space of there's no right and there's no wrong in yoga. There just is. You just get to be exactly as you are, exactly where you are. Feeling into your body, bringing your body into all these different shapes of possibility. Movement as medicine, as health. Move your joints through range of motion to stretch and tone your muscles, to stretch and tone your mind and your ability to stay present and focused. And you'll keep the shape of your legs, but release your left foot to the floor, but keep the shape, right ankle still on top. And then let your legs go to the left. So the right foot will land flat. And then you can reach and hold the ankle with your left hand if you can't, you can. Yep. And then for this one, you're actually allowing this right knee to keep pressing slightly forward. And the right hip, it's like you're trying to return the right hip towards the ground to create a sense of traction. Yes. Through that outer right quadrant of the lower body. There's a muscle there called the QL or quadratus lumborum. And it's called the hip hiker muscle. It's a muscle that, like, if you're holding a baby or a bag on your, you kind of hike your hip up to hold that baby there on the hip hiker muscle. So right here, that muscle's, you're trying to elongate and stretch and make some space between the ribs and the pelvis. Stretching the quadratus lumborum, the QL on the right side. Good, and then you'll slowly come back onto your back, uncross your ankle, pause. You can let the knees knock together or windshield wipe, just like let the pelvis come back towards neutral. And then we'll move into that reclined pigeon on the other side. So left ankle crosses over the top of the right thigh, and then pick the right foot up, interlace your hands behind the hamstring or in front of the right shin is fine too. Move a little bit if that feels good, or you can hold in stillness. Just let your breath be the gateway into your body, into this present moment, into experiencing, feeling what it is you're feeling, experiencing. I chose here to let it be quiet today, with no music, just to keep the quiet external, so that you can maybe find a quiet internal place. Often we keep ourselves full of distraction and noise around us. It's really like sinking into the quiet. And you'll release your hands, but keep the shape of your legs and set your right foot to the floor, and then let the knees go to the right. So the left foot now lands flat if it can. If not, it's okay. It can be just a twist. Or hold on to that left ankle with your right hand. imagine, so it's not totally possible, but imagine your right hip returning to the floor and kind of pressing forward towards the bar energy sign to lengthen out that right or left lower quadrant on the body, the torso. We're making space between the left rib cage and the top of the pelvis. There's all these little muscles in there, all these little attachments and muscles and tendons and nerves. Watching if anything is kind of radiating. There's that central location where the stretch is, and then there might be a radiation somewhere. Just noticing the pathway. Does it go to the hip? Does it go to the shoulder? Do you feel it in the outer knee or the leg? Like, where are you noticing? Maybe it's just very subtle, the sensation. And then you'll slowly release, come back onto your back, set both feet flat to the floor, feet wide apart. You can bring your pelvis back to center, and then either let the knees knock together or windshield wipe them right to left. Good, bring the feet together, knees apart, Supta Baddha Konasana. You can place one hand over the upper chest or the heart space, one hand over the abdomen. And then go ahead and stretch your legs out onto the mat one at a time. Arms come down by your sides, maybe wiggle around so you feel like you're optimal positioning and comfortable, and let yourself relax here in Shavasana. And the reading today for November 30th in the book Journey to the Heart. It's titled Trust Each Moment. Trust, trust, trust. Again and again, that's the issue. See how much of your pain, your anguish, your tension arises simply from not trusting the absolute perfection of the present moment. I've lost my way. I'm off track. I'm somehow wrong, in the wrong place at the wrong time, doing the wrong thing. Where I'm going is a dead end. Oh dear. You are not off track. I want to reword this to the world is not off track. We have not lost our way. You're going somewhere worth going. Somewhere magnificent, beyond the ability of your mind to comprehend. By trusting the perfection of each moment, you give yourself a gift, permission to enjoy the journey. Don't just take the trip, let yourself enjoy the ride. It's so hard sometimes to trust, especially when the present moment feels so imperfect or so not what we wish. Seems like we've gone so off kilter in some ways, and yet this is where we are. This is the moment that we are in. and you trust. What does it take to trust? Gently begin to move your fingers, your toes. And bend your knees and roll to a comfortable side. And as you're ready, you can press yourself up to a seated posture. Touch the palms of your hands together. So your thumbs come to rest at your sternum. Just a gesture, it's a gesture of gratitude. You can recall something that you're grateful for this morning. Lift your thumbs up to your forehead center. I'm grateful for each of you. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have an amazing day. Hopefully slowing it down helped a little bit.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye, Janice. Bye, Carol.